What's up, guys? This is Daria from HEELKAIJU, and we are back with another Kaiju Cinematic Destruction. And today we are reviewing Equalizer 2. Equalizer 2. Come on, Equalizer 2. We're reviewing Equalizer 2.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
They killed my friend. So I'm going to kill each and every one of them. And the only disappointment is that I only get to do it once.
Die from last y'all, die from last y'all, die from last y'all. Seeing you carrying all those books around, I figured you for some kind of teacher.
I'm a high-level paid government assassin.
It's go time.
Antoine Fuqua does not like bones. He doesn't like bones. He's got people breaking them and snapping them. It's crazy. I don't like it. It's nasty.
It just had some highly unnecessary gruesomeness going on.
Gruesomeness.
Is gruesomeness a word?
I believe it is.
For this movie, gruesomeness, yes.
It's very grisly. That's the word you're looking for. Grisly.
Yeah, it is.
Very grisly.
But, can I say this? Denzel Washington still looked like a good hunk of chocolate gumdrop.
Dang, Denzel still looking like a snack.
Just saying.
Looking like a Reese's peanut butter cup of awesomeness.
So you just killed that. Thanks.
How? I said he looked like a snack. Equated it to a particular... Anyway, Equalizer 2. Surprised the hell out of me. I don't really watch TV as much as I used to, so I've missed a lot of the trailers, but I caught a few here and there. It completely snuck up on me. Wasn't expecting it to come out today of all days, but hey, whatever. We saw it. Went out, saw it. It was an experience.
Yeah.
It was an experience.
It was an experience.
To brush up on it, Daria and we decided to catch the first Equalizer movie. And this being Denzel's first ever sequel, it's kind of telling that I consider Equalizer 2 to be way better than the first outing.
Yeah, the first one was kind of slow and dragging.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean, Equalizer, okay, this sequel, it picked up a little bit, but it still just, it just dragged in certain areas.
We'll get into that just a bit. We'll get into that just a little bit. But Denzel Washington returns for his role as... What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Anyway, she just stared off into space for a second. I'm like, what happened? Anyway, Denzel Washington returns to reprise his role as Robert... damn, I forgot his last name already. Robert McCall. There you go. Hey, Robert McCall. Robert McCall.
Look at you being professional.
Yeah, very highly unprofessional. Robert McCall as the mild-mannered seasoned veteran of the CIA, helping out people as best he can. In the first movie, he was at some Walmart knockoff. I can't remember the name of it. It's really not that important.
It was a warehouse. It was actually a hardware store.
It was basically a Walmart. It was basically a Walmart.
It was a hardware store.
It was basically...
It was a Walmart hardware store.
It's still Walmart. Anyway, first one he's playing a mild-mannered character the very same way that he's playing in this one. But now he's a Lyft driver. And he's a Lyft driver. He's using his hyper-awareness to discern who people are and see if they need any help. And, just basically be a good guy with a lot of demons, with a lot of baggage, with a lot of history in the back. And they make sure to remind you throughout the duration of this movie that despite all the good that he's done, he still remains that same sort of reserved, almost sullen character, despite, being a bit more personable around particular figures in this apartment complex in which he lives. Honestly, I like this, as I said, I like this way better because The problem with the Equalizer as a franchise, because now we can call it somewhat a franchise now. The problem with it is Denzel is the only saving grace in this series too, in 1 and 2. When Denzel is allowed to be Denzel, this is a fun movie. There's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of levity, there's a lot of character behind it. But the very second that he's off screen, the very second that he has to basically keep his mouth shut like they did to Ryan Reynolds in that Wolverine movie, basically just like cut away all his mouth and not let him, be that guy that everybody wants to see on their screen. It's just a by the numbers action flick that we've seen in the likes of like Taken or Death Wish or anything like that. It just felt generic a little bit. Definitely in number 1, a little less so in number 2, but Denzel Washington definitely saves this movie. He's the obvious standout.
He basically just knew his shit.
Oh yeah, he absolutely
If
murdered
you just want to
it.
narrow it down, make it quick, he knew his shit.
He knew his shit. He knew how to have the stage presence and everything. There were a few scenes that went beyond just like, the usual snarkiness that we get out of him. He showed his range. Everybody knows Denzel got range. Everybody knows Denzel can act. And they allowed him to do that. In the first one, it was just like, you may get like a one-liner or two and whenever he's on screen. But this one...
the second time around, they actually allowed him and let him really be what we know him from. Like Training Day.
Oh, Training Day. Oh, yeah, Training
Which
Day.
like, King Kong will not defeat me. That is
not the line.
What is the line in Training Day? I am so
King
sorry.
Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, that line.
King Kong will not defeat me. Wow.
I have no...
Oh, my God. Oh, that one goes to the record books. That goes to the record books.
Whatever, I'll own it.
Oh, God. This movie is also the blackest action movie that you could probably get, if only just because, like, okay, so two things, no spoilers, two things. The very first scene we get of Denzel is on a Turkish train, en route to Turkey. Yeah,
Istanbul.
That's in Turkey.
I know that. I know where Turkey is.
Why do you do this?
I was just
why must you do this?
Because it says Istanbul.
On its way to Turkey, and he's reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me. I believe that's the name. Yeah, Between the World and Me, Ta-Nehisi Coates. And just, I don't know, that stuck with me the very second that I saw it. It's like, oh, he's reading, Denzel's reading Ta-Nehisi Coates. Okay, we're going there. We are definitely going there this time. And the second point is they have a character in here named Miles, who is not a stereotype, but
sort of
is. he kind of is a little bit like he's a street tough who's like, that rose that grew from the concrete kind of character. Shout out to Tupac. Definitely feeling that role where he's like, he's incredibly talented, great artist, but he skips schools and he's on the corner and Denzel has to save him. And honestly, I'll take that over the usual white savior complex that usually gets put in a lot of these movies where it's just like, rugged old white guy saying like, you have the talent. It's a little bit different when it's like a guy like Denzel who's able to whip him into shape. And that's what he tries to do. And this is what he did.
You're going to call it whipping into shape? That's what you're calling it?
Okay, yeah, that was bad use.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
turn of
he
phrase right there.
Scared the absolute shit out that little boy.
Okay,
like that little boy shat his pants, and I'm gonna leave it at that. We're done.
Yeah, we can't go too much into detail, but yeah, he helped put him on the straight and narrow. Yes, sir, he did. But again, that's the word I'm gonna use. I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
But that's what he also did in the first one, where he was always there as a mentor to the characters, to the secondary characters in the first Equalizer, and now he gets to do that. One of the weirdest parts about this movie is usually when you throw in like there's like 3 different subplots in this movie, and I think it's strange because usually when you get like so many subplots in a movie like this,
keep up with it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with it. It feels like it's disjointed.
Yeah.
But
this didn't do that. Even with the three subplots, you still were able to understand what was going on, or
I mean, it's not only just that, but it's also the fact that like the general story by itself was kind of just so it almost felt like it needed those subplots, but it did it well enough that it didn't detract from the actual story, and it felt like everything kind of branched out and came back together in the end, in a way that didn't feel kind of hokey. It almost made me cry at the end for one of those scenes.
Yeah, the
One of
ending
those
was
scenes.
sweet.
Yeah, it was a little sweet. Nothing about this movie was sweet though. We got broken bones and gore and all of that.
So we're gonna leave it at that.
Broken bones and gore. No, I'm not going to leave it at that because
We're not spoiling the rest.
We're not
That's it.
spoiling the movie. I'm just saying if you've seen the first one, you know what you're getting into. You know what you're getting into.
And what if some people who have not seen the first?
Okay, now I'm going to tell you, broken bones and stuff. That's not spoiling. That's just going. You're going to be expecting. It's an R-rated film. It's an R-rated film.
Well, then just say that.
It's
you know
definitely
what
an R-rated
is.
film. Just things go squish. Things go squish and all of that.
That are not supposed to go squish?
Yeah, things that are not supposed to go unnecessarily.
You are seriously being a wimp.
No, I'm not. I don't. It's weird for me. It's weird for me. When it comes to horror movies and I see the things that go squish that aren't supposed to go squish and things that don't go, I laugh. That is hilarity to me because it just feels so hokey and just it breaks the immersion of like I'm supposed to be scared of that. So it's hilarious to me.
But Deadpool did it.
When it comes to action movies like Deadpool or like Death Wish or like Red Sparrow or even like The Equalizer, where it's like, okay, I expect something out of my action films where, yeah, there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of, ing and ing. I think this was that was the same sound.
I have no
There you
idea.
go. There you go. That's the sound. Stuff that goes like that. When you get a lot of
You're
that.
the sound effect guy? What is going on?
Yes,
right
I'm
now?
the Foley guy. Hush. I want to do the sound effects. I don't care. Anyway, when you get action movies like that, it feels weird because like, and you can't be like, oh, you're being a wimp, because I watched you two turn away and put a pillow in front of your face when we watched the first Equalizer. Then you sitting here going during the movie.
Well, I'm just saying certain things were unladylike for me to say.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's what you're using now.
Sticking to it. It's my story.
Wow.
Not yours.
Denzel kicked ass. The kid that played Miles, Ashton Sanders, he kicked ass. Did a great job. Basically, the supplemental characters, aside from like Denzel and Miles, was just kind of like there. In a way, it was just there. It almost felt like it almost felt like playing a game and you had to do the side quests before you got to the end. And it just sort of felt like that, like we were watching, the player character go with a whole bunch of NPCs with just a little bit of flavor text, and that was about it. And that was one of the biggest issues with this movie. It was. I think that's really just it right there. It just really felt like when Denzel wasn't on screen, when Denzel wasn't allowed to be Denzel, which these moments were fewer and far between compared to the first Equalizer. But for this one, when he wasn't on screen, it just kind of felt eh. But when he was, he definitely stole the show and turned this from just like a by the numbers generic blah action flick to something that I didn't feel bad about going out later on in the evening to try to catch. Mm-hmm. You got any notes for you? Nothing?
No.
Nothing.
I said everything I want to say about Equalizer.
Damn. All right. So then,
Denzel was a good-looking chocolate gumdrop. I'm happy.
can you have a chocolate gumdrop? Can you?
Yes, it's mine.
I'm just wondering, is there chocolate gum?
I don't know, but it's mine right now. So.
I'm just curious. It's like,
Actually, yes, it is. We had it in Germany.
give us your score, D.
Although I did enjoy the movie, it did lag in some parts. And it did drag a little bit. So I would have to give it 3 stars.
3 stars for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, as I said, it's without Denzel, it's mediocre. It is highly mediocre.
Without Denzel's death wish.
I wouldn't even give it. Actually, no, I wouldn't make it drop down that low because Death Wish sucked. Death Wish sucked like from beginning to end with like there was virtually nothing redeemable about Death Wish in terms of like a movie sense and an enjoyable movie going experience. There was like a little bit more when it came to characters here, and at the very worst they were wallpaper. At the very worst, they were wallpaper. But like, when Denzel's not on the screen, it's just your generic action flick, and there's just nothing. There's nothing really much to it.
Okay.
Outside of that, when Denzel's on the screen, he's what propels it from a 2-star flick to a 3-star flick. So I give it an equal 3 stars.
Okay.
But my God, he's just snapping bones. Why are you snapping bones like that, Denzel? How old are you, Denzel? Your mama didn't teach you not to snap bones like that, Denzel? I mean, you look damn good when you did it, but God dang! I had to wash this thing through my fingers most of the time. And you don't get to call me a wimp because you did the same damn thing too.
Again, it had some scenes that were highly unladylike for me to look at. So
Oh my God!
I had to gracefully turn away.
All right, you know what? We're getting out of here before she starts saying that she's got the vapors.
No, I was just letting you know.
Oh my God! We'll catch y'all later. Deuces.